Hey y'all, welcome to Bass Lessons HQ. The reason I'm doing this tutorial is because somebody saw a version of this tune, Bass of the Hills. It was actually in A, it was on a 4-string that I didn't own, and I can prove it because it wasn't black, okay? But I had to quick transpose it because they wanted to do a video for a series of promotional clips for Teach Me Bass Guitar. By the way, if you don't have it yet, you need it. Check out my Teach Me Bass Guitar review and then go pick it up, okay? There's a couple of things you need to know about how I played this particular tune. First off, I did it with a high-strung 5. I ignored the B string completely, okay? And I detuned the E string to a low D so that I have octave sustains, all right? And if you're playing a normal 5-string, you can transpose this to A, detune your B string down to a low A, okay? Those of you playing 6s or high-strung 5s, you're good to go. Just drop your D or your E down to D. So basically underneath what I'm doing is whole notes on the lowest D and half notes on the octave, like this. Now above that, all I'm doing is working off of a D major scale with the exception of a dominant 7th. And this is actually the scale that we use most of the time in rock and roll if we're playing in a major key, okay, and not doing the minor pentatonic, whatever. But you might know it as the Mixolydian or 5th mode, because if you're playing through in C, if you're just walking right up starting on D and then E, F, G, G is the 5th mode, Mixolydian, and that's the one that's the major scale with a dominant 7th. Now, since I'm all the way to my D string for my ostinatos, my pedal tones, that means I have those 2 strings for chords or melody. And you'll see here that what I've got going is another D and then an A. Without the 3rd, it's called a 5 chord, D5, number 5, not Roman numeral 5, okay? And all I'm doing is bouncing right there, you know, G to A, and then I'm crossing over with the middle finger to get the 5-1, right? Like this. And I find that the power chord setup, the root and 5, is really easy to use. I'm going to do it without the chords. I'm not going to play both notes because I want to keep that space between the low notes and those notes, okay? Now remember, I'm using my major scale with dominant 7, so you'll also see me use that note, but that's just the pedal tones and concentrating on the melody, we have this. Sliding down to the 5 instead of there, okay? So that's the A and B sections, if you will, of the song. And at tempo, they sound like this. So there's the first part of the tune, and go ahead and practice that. And certainly if you want to learn it, please feel free to, and send me a video if you do, okay? But more importantly, what I hope you see is how I'm using that particular scale to find my melody. And I'd like to see you find your own melody and do something with it, and not necessarily in the key of D, but just using that scale, okay? So have fun with that. I'll see you for part 2 soon. Till then, keep thumbing, y'all. Peace.